Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're having an absolutely fabulous day so far. So I'm really excited about today's video because I'm going to be talking about something that I am extremely passionate about, and that is becoming famous. Now, before you actually turn off this video and classify me as some money-hungry celebrity wannabe, I want to talk about becoming famous because I do believe there is an unnecessary negative connotation around the pursuit of fame, and I think that wanting fame is not necessarily a bad thing that we need to judge people or hide if it's something we are pursuing ourselves. So that's what I wanted to have a super casual chat with you about today. This video is actually a collab with one of my most favorite human beings in the entire world, Natasha from Girl CEO. This is actually a topic we regularly talk about, just casually on WhatsApp. And one day we just decided that, hey, why don't we actually share our opinions with our audiences online? Because maybe there are other people out there who are feeling the same way as us when it comes to pursuing fame. And maybe there are some people who have some negative connotations and we could potentially change their minds around it. So Natasha is an amazing human being. If you do not follow her already, then honestly, you are missing out. She's so intelligent. She's fully switched on when it comes to personal branding and growing the business and life of your dreams. And you are going to get so much value from her. If you like my channel, you're going to love her as well. So definitely go follow her. I'm going to leave all of her channel links below, and you can also go there to see her opinion on the topic of, trying to become known or famous online. So I want to start by saying that I understand why people have such a negative connotation around fame or the idea of pursuing fame. Traditionally becoming famous was a lot harder than it is today. Back in the day, it was kind of reserved for people who were either really, really wealthy, they were politicians, or they had a lot of talent, they were in the entertainment industry. And these days, it's a lot easier, and maybe you don't have to have so many skills to become famous. With the rise of the internet star, with, the rise of reality TV as well, pretty much everyone who does go on those shows has some level of fame afterwards. And there's just so many people kind of popping out of the womb of fame and maybe not doing the best things with their status. A lot of people get into a lot of trouble. They're not being great role models, where before celebrities and famous people were a little bit more polished and were a little bit more aware of public opinion. So I can totally understand why people have such a negative connotation around trying to become famous, because yes, there are a lot of people out there who are abusing their platform and their known status. But I don't want you to get confused with someone who's unnecessarily a celebrity, or even just kind of a celebrity because of maybe going on a reality TV show or any of those other things that I just said before. I don't want you to confuse that with someone or something that is famous. The dictionary definition of fame is known by many. It doesn't say anything about internet sensation or reality TV. It just says known by many. When I think of fame, I think about someone or something that has an emotional connection with an audience, whether it is a global audience or whether it is a local audience. It's someone or something that is to a certain degree adored by a group of people and is actively using that platform in a way to move them, either positively or negatively. Sometimes I think of fame like, have you ever drove into a cute little quaint country town and you drive past a bakery or a cafe and they have a sign that says, we serve Dalesford's famous apple pie. I don't think that apple pie has 1 million followers on YouTube, but it's still famous to that town, and particularly to the people who are local, but maybe also to the people who are traveling there. Fame doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It just means something that is having an impact of some sort on a group of people. So if you are someone who wants to be famous, it really doesn't need to be something that you need to hide. I think that we're all hiding and playing small because we're worried about other people judging us for wanting a level of fame, when it really shouldn't be something that we're playing down. I think we've come a long way in regards to the negative connotations around money. A lot of people thought that people who wanted money were really evil or greedy, and that people who had money were kind of dirty and mean. But we've come to understand that wanting money means that A, you can give more to people, and that B, it's just about an abundance mindset. And I think we need to get to the same position with fame. You know, people who do want to reach people on a large platform aren't necessarily people who are greedy or celebrity hungry. They maybe are just people who want to have a bigger impact and change more people's lives. And one thing that I'd like to note that's really important here as well is that so many people are so judgmental about the pursuit of fame because they think that people who acquire it are going to change. I firmly believe that fame and money, they don't change people, they just expose people, or they just highlight the personality and the characteristics that that person already had. If you're a very generous and giving person, then it's likely that when you have a lot of money, you're going to be the same. If you're a very kind and sweet person who really does want the best for other people, then if you have a large audience and if you have fame to a certain degree, then you're very much going to be the same. Mean people are just going to escalate their meanness whether they have money or fame, and kind people will also do the same. I know some famous people who are absolutely amazing. Well, I don't know them personally, I wish, but you know, what about Mother Teresa? She's famous. What about Oprah? You know, there are a lot of people doing incredible things with their fame, and there's a lot of people who are absolutely known by no one, and they're assholes and they're mean. So it really doesn't represent a person's personality whether they're famous or not. If you're a mean person, you're going to be mean, and if you're a kind person, you're going to be kind, regardless of those two situations. So that's one thing to consider as well, is that fame is not going to change people. It's just going to highlight who they always were. So what I'm really trying to say here is that I totally believe that if fame is something that you would like, whether it is on a global scale or whether it is something more local, you shouldn't feel like you need to hide it or play yourself down small. And if you're the type of person who maybe has a little bit of an icky feeling around fame, and you hear other people talking about how they would love to be famous, then maybe try to reserve that judgment and know that they might be doing it for a reason that is going to help to change the world. So I really want us to try to change our perspective around people who are actively trying to pursue fame. But what I would like to say on this as well is that don't confuse fame with social media followers. I'm actually going to do a whole entire video on this, and it is coming very soon. But don't just think you're famous because you've got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube or 1 million followers on Instagram. It's not about that. I totally believe that fame has to do with impact rather than numbers. You could be absolutely incredible to 1,000 people. You know, you could have 1,000 followers on Instagram and mean so much to them that the positive influence that you're putting out to them is then paid forward, and you create this ripple-like effect of positivity with whatever your message is. You could also have 1 million followers on YouTube and really do nothing with it. You know, people might stop by because they love the entertainment value of what you're doing. And yes, you might be famous to some degree, but you still might not be changing people's lives. So regardless, social media followers doesn't depict whether someone is famous or not. To me, it's the impact, the emotional connection that they're having on other people. Now, the last thing I'd like to say on this, and this is more personally for you if fame is something that you actively are trying to pursue, is that I totally believe that there are people out there who are pursuing fame for the right reasons, and it's really because they want to have an impact and they want to change people's lives. But I also want you to stop and ask yourself particularly why you want to become famous, if that is something you do want. I think that social media is amazing, and I love social media. I'm in love with social media, so I would never say a bad thing about it. But something that I have recognized is with the rise of social media, and because we're also interconnected online, it has kind of made a lot of people feel really disconnected in their personal lives. I don't think that relationships are as strong as they once were before social media was a thing. So I do think there's a lot of people out there who are actually feeling really insignificant, they're feeling really lonely, and they're feeling really disconnected. And they're pursuing fame because they want to fill that void. It's really important to recognize that if you don't have a certain level of love and comfortability and groundedness in your own life, getting a large audience or having impact on people is not going to change that. If you don't love yourself, you know, you really can't, it's not going to change just because of the level of fame that you have. So you really need to ask yourself, am I pursuing fame because I want to change other people's life? Is this a giving thing? Is this because I want to have an impact and, you know, yes, get financially rewarded in the process, but is it because I want because of that reason, or is it because I'm trying to fill a void of validation that I'm not receiving in my own personal life from the people who are supposed to be closest to me? If it's because you want significance and validation and you feel lonely, then work on that first and then pursue the fame afterwards, because that feeling of loneliness will not go away just because you've got a large platform and a voice to match. So make sure you are working on yourself and you feel whole before you go out there and you actively try to pursue that fame. But regardless, if fame is something that you want, there is nothing wrong with that. Please stop thinking that you need to play yourself small and that you can't get out there and actively tell people that I'm trying to become famous because I want to make a difference. You know, we all were put on this planet because we have something special that we are supposed to give. And whether we're supposed to give that on a global level, which is something I'm not afraid to admit that I want, or maybe it's something that we're trying to have on a smaller local level. Whatever the level of fame that it is that you are trying to actively pursue, share that gift with the world because you were given it for a reason. All of the desires that you have within you, don't be ashamed to share them because they were given to you for a reason. And you are supposed to fulfill that destiny that is in your heart and in your mind. So please don't play your goals small. If fame is something that you want, go get it, girl. If fame is something that somebody else around you want, then leave the judgment behind. We are all just trying to do the best we can for the most part and trying to have the impact that we were created to have. So I know that was a little bit sappy at the end there, but I really hope this motivated you that if fame is something that you want, then you can actively go pursue it. And if fame is something that maybe felt a little bit dirty to you, or the pursuit of fame, then hopefully this maybe changed your opinion and you can look at it in a new light. Again, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on pursuing fame and trying to become famous. What is your opinion? Did this video change it at all? Or still do you believe that maybe it's not the best thing to try and become famous? Either way, leave all of your thoughts down below because I definitely want to keep this conversation going. I really, really appreciate you joining me here today. Please don't forget to go check out Natasha. She is an incredible human being and you will not regret being in her presence. She will change your life just like she has done mine. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.